Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with our volunteer guardian ad litem. Today, my guest is Miss Linda Hill. Thank you, Miss Hill, for joining us today. We're just, thank you. We're just going to chat a little bit. We're going to have Linda tell us a little bit about her experience. Let's start off by talking a little bit about how long you've been with the guardian ad litem.
I've been with the program 3 years this month, so it's my anniversary.
Oh, awesome. Well, congratulations. You made it 3 years. That's awesome. So, what brought you to the program, Linda?
Well, I wanted to be able to speak for the children that couldn't or wouldn't speak for themselves. I wanted them to know that there's somebody that believes in them, somebody takes what they say seriously, and will fight for them to have a better life.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. And what would you say a day in the life looks like for a volunteer such as yourself?
Well, it depends. If it's early on in the case, the first few days are very busy because there's a lot of activity. But
Mhm.
once things settle down, you have a court appearance, and if you have court in the morning, then you need to really block off from about 8 o'clock till noon because there are many cases on the docket and you don't always know what time you're going to be heard. So you have to be there and be prepared. Same scenario for the afternoon. You have to be there from about 1 o'clock till hopefully no later than 3:30. Other than that, early on in the case, you're very busy with court appearances, you'll have mediation, you'll meet your family members, your child, your caregiver, but that usually settles down after the first 2 weeks.
Awesome. And how often would you say you have court appearances? How often does that happen?
In the first month, you may have 2 or 3 court appearances, one of which will be the mediation. After that, then it's usually every 90 days unless something significant happens and there's a need to go back before the judge.
Okay, awesome. Wow. So, for someone such as yourself, what do you do if you don't mind me asking? Are you full-time employee? Are you retired? Or what is your current status?
I'm retired, so I have a lot of time to devote to this, and that is one of the reasons that I picked this. It is something that I could devote a lot of time to, but that's my choice.
Awesome. And speaking of time, on average, what would you say you spend on a case?
It will vary. If you have a case with just one child and parents that are very eager to work their case plan and get their children back, then I would say about 8 to 10 hours a month. And that includes visits, travel time, and writing reports. If you have a case where you've got multiple children, parents that maybe don't always play by the rules, multiple visits, multiple schools to go to. It could be more. It just depends on the case that you have. A lot of things you can do by phone, so you're not constantly going somewhere. But I would say the number of children is a big factor.
Oh, wow. That does sound like a lot of work. And it's interesting to hear, that you're retired and you have time and you devote a lot of your time to do this. So we appreciate individuals such as yourself. So thank you for doing that. But let me ask you, what would you say is the most challenging part of what you do?
Without a doubt, not always agreeing what the judge wants.
That's
Um,
tough.
I've learned to be patient. It's a very involved legal system, and it's not always going to work out the way I want it to. And I find that the most challenging is working within the law.
Okay. And then on the other side of that, what is the most rewarding? What would you say is the most rewarding?
Seeing a family finally reunited, seeing that the parents have diligently worked their case plan, they want to get back to being a healthy family, and seeing the smile on the face when the child is with both their parents.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is,
Well,
really is.
what would you say keeps you coming back to a program such as the Guardian Ad Litem program? Why do you continue to come back?
There's such a large volume of children that need somebody to be in their corner and root for them. Um, their parents love them, but their parents are going through a tough time. Also, the staff at the Guardian Ad Litem, they're very supportive. They are always there to listen, help explain things to you. I've had many times I've gone in and just totally unloaded on my child manager, and she's listened and she's kind of steered me to the right direction, and she's let me vent when I needed to. So it's a two-way street.
Oh, that's awesome. Glad to hear. Glad to hear that. And can you tell me a little bit about the training? What was that like?
The training was awesome. I was fortunate enough to have 2 full days of training, which I thoroughly loved. I found a lot of useful information. And during class, it really didn't click, but once I started working with my families, everything began to fall into place. And the pieces just meshed very well together. And another thing I like about the program is there's always continuing education available. So they always keep us informed on things that are changing, hot topics, anything along the lines that they feel will benefit the child.
Oh, that's awesome. It sounds like we are providing you the tools that you need to do the job. I
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
This is certainly not something that's easy for anybody to do. So we appreciate individuals such as yourself, taking the time and having the passion that you clearly have, to help the children in need. So thank you so much for doing what you do, Ms. Hill. Do you have any last minute words of encouragement for anyone that might be thinking about doing this?
I would strongly encourage anyone who has the time and the compassion and the patience to really look into this and do this. We need people to be there to speak for these children because they have no one.
Oh, awesome. Well, great parting words. Thank you again so much, Linda.
Thank you.
Until next time.